Why do you keep promising yourself that tomorrow will be different, and then wake up trapped in the same habits again? You tell yourself this is the last time, the last scroll, the last excuse, the last delay. You feel motivated for a moment, strong, determined. But when the moment of action arrives, something inside you resists, and when you fall back into the old pattern, the guilt hits hard. You start to question your discipline, your willpower, even your character. But what if the problem is not your strength? What if the problem is the size of the change you're trying to make? Your brain is not designed for sudden transformation. It is designed for survival. It loves what is familiar. It clings to routine because routine feels safe. Every habit you repeat carves a pathway in your brain. The more you repeat it, the deeper that path becomes. Over time, your behavior stops feeling like a choice. It feels automatic. That is not weakness, that is wiring. And here is the powerful truth. What has been wired can be rewired. There is a quiet philosophy from Japan that rebuilt industries, restored confidence, and transformed broken systems into global leaders. It did not rely on massive overhauls. It did not demand extreme effort. It focused on something almost invisible, small, continuous improvement. This philosophy is called Kaizen. Kaizen does not shout at you to change your life overnight. It whispers, take one small step, because big change triggers fear. When you say, I will wake up at 5 a.m. every day, your brain sees threat. When you declare, I will quit this habit forever, your mind resists. The fear center activates. Comfort becomes more attractive, and you fall back. Kaizen bypasses that fear. Instead of 1 hour at the gym, it asks for 1 push-up. Instead of reading a full chapter, it asks for 1 sentence. Instead of quitting a bad habit forever, it asks you to pause for 1 minute. So small it feels almost too easy. That is the point. Small steps do not scare your brain. They calm it. And every time you complete 1 tiny action, your brain releases dopamine. You feel progress. You feel capable. And capability builds confidence. Confidence builds identity. You are not trying to become a different person in 1 dramatic leap. You are becoming slightly better today than you were yesterday. And here is why you should stay with this idea until the end. Because if you truly understand this system, you will never look at change the same way again. You will stop fighting yourself. You will stop relying on bursts of motivation. You will stop feeling broken. Instead, you will have a method, a repeatable, gentle, powerful method. You are not stuck because you lack discipline. You are stuck because you tried to leap across a canyon when all you needed was a single step forward. Take that step. Make it so small you cannot fail, and watch what begins to change inside you. That single step may look small from the outside, but inside your brain, it is a revolution. You have been taught to chase dramatic results, big goals, big declarations, big sacrifices. But the truth is, your brain does not measure change in size. It measures it in repetition. What you repeat, you become. Imagine improving just 1% today. Not 10, not 50, just 1. So small it feels almost invisible. You drink 1 extra glass of water. You focus for 2 minutes without distraction. You choose 1 better option instead of the usual one. It feels insignificant. But your brain notices. It records the action. It strengthens the pathway. Progress, even tiny progress, creates momentum. Psychologists call it the progress principle. When you see that you are moving forward, even slightly, your motivation rises. You feel capable. You feel in control, and control builds confidence. The hardest part of any habit is not the effort. It is the beginning. Your mind resists starting because starting means uncertainty, effort, risk. But when the task is so small that it feels almost effortless, resistance fades. 2 minutes of action does not scare you. 1 push-up does not intimidate you. Reading 1 paragraph does not overwhelm you. And once you begin, something powerful happens. Your brain seeks completion. It dislikes unfinished tasks. So 1 push-up often becomes 3. 2 minutes of focus often becomes 10. A single healthy choice often leads to another. Action creates motivation. Not the other way around. You do not wait to feel ready. You act your way into readiness. This is how small improvements compound. 1% today does not look impressive, but repeated daily, it transforms you. Each tiny action is a vote for the person you want to become. 1 vote means little. Hundreds change identity. You are not trying to win 1 heroic battle. You are building a quiet daily advantage. Consistency beats intensity every time. Intensity burns bright and fades. Consistency is calm, steady, relentless. It does. Because habits are not just behaviors. They are evidence of who you believe you are. Every small action either reinforces the old identity or builds a new one. So stop waiting for a breakthrough moment. Stop chasing dramatic transformation. Focus on the smallest action you can take right now. Make it simple. Make it repeatable. Make it undeniable. You do not need to feel powerful to begin. You become powerful because you begin. 1% today, then tomorrow, then the next day. Quiet improvement, steady growth, invisible at first, unstoppable over time. This is how you turn effort into identity, and identity into freedom. And as you begin to act in small ways, something deeper starts to surface. You realize that you are not just changing behavior, you are reshaping identity. Because here is a truth most people ignore. You cannot simply erase a bad habit. You must replace it. Your brain runs on loops. A cue triggers a routine. The routine delivers a reward. Stress triggers scrolling. Boredom triggers snacking. Anxiety triggers avoidance. The loop feels automatic because it has been repeated so many times. Trying to delete it completely leaves a gap. And your brain hates gaps. If you remove the routine but keep the same emotional trigger, your mind will search for a substitute. That is why people quit one habit and fall into another. The cue is still there. The craving for relief is still there. Only the behavior changes shape. So instead of fighting the old habit with force, you outgrow it with substitution. When stress hits, you pause and take one slow breath instead of reaching for distraction. When boredom creeps in, you stand up and move your body for 60 seconds. When the urge to procrastinate rises, you commit to working for 2 minutes instead of running away. You are not suppressing the urge. You are redirecting it. This is powerful because it respects how your brain works. The cue remains. The reward remains. But the routine shifts. And that small shift, repeated consistently, rewires the loop. You begin to teach your mind a new response. And something even more important happens. You stop attacking yourself. For too long, you may have labeled yourself as lazy, undisciplined, weak. But habits are not moral failures. They are learned patterns. And patterns can be redesigned. When you remove shame from the process, you free up energy for growth. Research shows that self-compassion increases resilience. When you forgive yourself for slipping, you are more likely to try again. When you punish yourself, you often spiral deeper. So if you fall back into an old behavior, you do not quit. You adjust. You ask one simple question. What small improvement can I make next time? That question is transformative. Instead of saying, I failed, you say, I am refining the system. Instead of, I am broken, you say, I am learning. Each tiny replacement habit becomes evidence of who you are becoming. When you choose one healthier response, even once, you prove that change is possible. When you repeat it, you prove that change is sustainable. Identity shifts quietly. It does not announce itself. It builds through repetition, through small, consistent acts that align with the person you want to be. You are not someone trying to break a bad habit. You are someone building a better pattern. And the more you repeat that pattern, the less power the old one holds. One breath instead of one impulse. 1 minute of focus instead of 1 hour of avoidance. One better choice instead of one automatic reaction. These are not small things, they are foundations. And when the foundation changes, the entire structure of your life begins to rise differently. As your inner patterns begin to shift, you start to notice something else. It is not only your mind that shapes your habits. It is your environment. You may believe that change is about willpower, about pushing harder, about forcing yourself to resist temptation. But willpower is a limited resource. It fades when you are tired. It weakens when you are stressed. It disappears when emotions run high. Your environment, however, works silently, constantly, powerfully. Look around you. What is within reach? What is visible? What is easy? Your brain is wired to choose the path of least resistance. If distraction is one tap away, you will tap. If junk food is on your desk, you will reach. If your bed is warm and your alarm is far, you will stay. This is not a character flaw, it is human design. So instead of asking yourself to become stronger, ask yourself to become smarter. Design your surroundings so that good choices are easier and bad choices are harder. If you want to read more, place a book where your phone usually sits. If you want to exercise, put your shoes by the door. If you want to reduce screen time, charge your device in another room. Small adjustments, massive impact.